Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. Oh, please don't go past it. Please don't go past it. I almost did. Welcome back, as I had to find the most theatric way, totally by accident, to get my way into the pit stop. So we could get a new set of tires as we go through yet another section. And somebody followed me in there. He's like, what the hell is that guy doing? He's gonna kill himself. And then I'm going to win. Please kill yourself. We're back playing some more Gran Turismo 3. We're on the back half of this super long endurance race. I mean, we've got it well in hand. This Zonda race car is fucking crazy. I don't think I can really stress that enough. This thing is just an absolute, like, decimator of souls, dude. It just... What the hell? My wireless controller's being a little bit weird, and it may possibly have a little bit to do with the fact that I left this thing sitting for a little bit longer than I should have. I had to take a nice little lengthy break. I had to take a little lengthy break because I needed to charge up my phone for a while because the battery was basically dead, and so, you know, kind of hard to do the face cam portion of it if I don't have my camera up and running. And then I also wanted to play a little bit of God of War. My brother needed some help in a certain section, so I decided to help him out a little bit with it. Dude, that game is so much fun. I cannot wait to play that on this channel. You guys are going to love it. I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of that game that I have played. It gets so much more interesting the further you play into it, and the visuals also get more and more interesting and just breathtaking as you go along. There's a section that I was playing, it's not really going to be a spoiler necessarily, but there's this room that you go into where you can travel between realms, and when you unlock the first new area to go to, dude, it has like this crazy like laser show type of thing going on, and just like all these visual effects going on that show, you know, the tower like unlocking this new realm to travel to, and it's fucking just like we all, Michaela and Spencer and I were all in the room, and as soon as it happened, we're just like, whoa, dude, this is just fucking crazy. The visuals of it are just so much fun, and like the combat is so engaging, and it just there were a couple of enemies that I killed in that you know, you're kind of having like this little mini battle with them, and then I like triggered this special combo where I just fucking walloped this guy over the head with the axe, and I pulled the axe out of his skull and I cut him in half. It was just, oh dude, it was so cool, and my brother and I were just like, whoa, fuck, God, that guy got it bad. It was cool. So when I have the availability to do it, I am absolutely going to fire that up on this channel because it is awesome. It will not be, you know, it's not one that's in the immediate future, but it's going to be in there somewhere. I have so many projects on like the immediate horizon that I've got to figure out how I'm really going to go about doing them and when. Because I still got to figure out what I'm going to do after this one is done. Like I need to take a little mini break from Gran Turismo. I mean, I still have Gran Turismo Sport that I will ultimately, you know, dive full force back into because it's already an active series that I've suspended, but I am going to get back into that one. And then I've got just this whole gaggle of games that I don't even know what order to do them in. Like, I want to do Silent Hill at some point. Like, I wanted to do a horror game during the month of October, and there was no time for me to slip that in anywhere, because I still have all these other active things going on. You know, we still have Dark Souls that's going to have a really long way to go. We still have this that's got a long way to go, which is fucking bonkers. I've been doing this series for like almost 2 years now, and we still have so much content left to cover. That is just absurd to me. Then we have, you know, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening only has, I don't know, probably like like 5 or 6 episodes left of it, I think. And not a terribly long game. So that one, conceivably will be done fairly soon. And that's where things get crazy. Like, the list of potentials is out of control. I mean, so I've got... I'll let you guys in on a little thing here, and I want you guys to help me out a little bit. So I wanted to do Silent Hill, because I've never played it before, and I know that's a game of legendary capacity that, like every horror fan, has to handle it at some point. So that's a potential in the mirror. And then there's another horror game like Dead Space that I've never played that either. That's another one that always seems to be ranked in those, top horror game experiences. And then in a, non-horror game fashion, then there's The Last of Us, which I've been wanting to play that on this channel for years, and I've never gotten around to it. And then there's also Castlevania. I've been on this wild Castlevania kick, with the Netflix series that was going, and, just watching people doing, speed runs of various old Castlevania games. That's one that I've been wanting to do on this channel for a long time, which then begs the question, out of the whole collection of Castlevania games, where the hell do I start? Do I start at the very beginning, or do I just go with my favorite one, which I don't even know what my favorite one even is. I don't know if it's, Symphony of the Night, or if it's Aria of Sorrow, or if it's Harmony of Dissonance. I mean, those are probably my 3 favorite ones. Dawn of Sorrow is also really good. But I think my 3 favorites are kind of the classic PS1 and then the 2 GBA Metroidvania classics. Even though there are a lot of people that didn't really like Harmony of Dissonance that much. I thought it was awesome. I played that one before I even got down with Aria of Sorrow. But even still. So I mean, there's so many good ones there, and then there's the old NES classics with Castlevania 1 and Castlevania 3, which is what the Netflix series was based off of, and even like the PS2 one. What is it? It's not Curse of Darkness. It's Lament of Innocence. That's like timeline-wise the very first game in the whole series. That one's a lot of fun too. So I don't even know. And then there's, obviously the new God of War game is in there, but I still gotta finish the old God of War games. I still have God of War 1 that I haven't even finished yet, that Lige and I were doing like a year ago. So there's so many things out there that I need to address and get going. And there's a whole bunch of like shorter games that I want to play. There's games like Fatal Labyrinth for the Sega Genesis that I want to play, and like Kirby's Dream Land 2 for the original Game Boy was a game that I was thinking about doing at some point. Games like Gain Ground. There's like some Sega games that I want to get down on that I haven't, because I haven't really done a lot with that. I want to do some other like older console games also, but again, you can kind of see where I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, because there's just this gaping list full of stuff that I want to get down to. I just looked over at my computer screen and I saw for PS3 Dante's Inferno is in there, which is another kind of God of War clone type game that is fucking awesome. There's just, I don't know. I don't even know. And then San Francisco Rush 2049 if I can ever get my damn Dreamcast fixed, because that version is infinitely better than the Nintendo 64 version. And then there's Nintendo 64 games I want to play. There's also, like WrestleMania 2000, which I think is a game that I'd have a fucking blast with along with you guys, because I know that there's a sect of my viewers that are all avid, wrestling fans. And so then there's that whole pile of awesomeness. And then there's games like Turok Dinosaur Hunter that, oh my god, I haven't played those in years, but I'd love to get down on it at some point. So you can see. And then Siphon Filter 3 for PS1. I could do this forever. I really could. I could just sit here and just list off a bunch of games that I like that are all ones that I want to do. This is the hard thing for those of you guys that are considering doing let's plays and stuff on YouTube like this. One of the hardest things isn't necessarily when getting started out, because there's always a million games you want to do when you start out. That was, for me, I was like, oh my god, I can play all the fun games from my childhood that I, played for millions and millions of hours, and it'll be super easy. That isn't the hard part. Because once you get your sea legs down, you tackle a lot of your favorite ones right away. The harder part is when you start getting into projects a few years in, and you've covered like all of your most favorite games, but then you kind of hit that B-level area of where you have all of these games that you love, but you don't know what order to do them in. And you can't decide, and there's just like no fucking way. And for me, I've made such a huge effort in trying to adopt games from all of these different systems. And so then you find out all these, all these gems from all these systems, and you just can't play them all enough times. It's hard. And then for me, with my uploading schedule being kind of in the format that it's in, where, I'm not recording every single day like I used to. I'm taking advantage of time when it presents itself. That's the hard part. You never really know what you're gonna get when you're gonna have time for it, and so I don't want to commit to a whole bunch of like really long series, hardy har, since it's exactly what I did. I just want to. I want to try to do some short games so I can get a couple of just like nice little short but sweet things done before I commit to another long series of really any kind. So I don't really know what to do. It is a tough decision to make. So any type of input that you guys would like to make here, I more than welcome it. It's always nice to hear what you guys are wanting to see me get down on, and that's good, because that'll maybe help make my decision a little bit easier. Maybe one of the games that I mentioned, in that crazy rant of mine is one that, really is kind of like the thing that you're wanting to see me do. So, who knows? Who knows? If there's other ideas that weren't in the list, then by all means, go right ahead and say them. If I don't already own a copy of it and I can find a way to do it, maybe I'm sure that I can find a way to obtain it. The hard thing is that a lot of these, ROM warehouses are starting to close. And so that's a tough one. Hopefully I can still get my hands on some of these things before they all shut down completely. Luckily for me, I had a lot of other ROM sites besides just like Emu Paradise. I know that's a big one that they basically shut down everything that they had, which was a bummer, because that place was where I was getting like complete ROM sets from. I mean, I'd basically, when I started messing around with a lot of the systems that I didn't play as a kid, like TurboGrafx before I bought mine, or things like the Vectrex, or oh god, even things like Sega Master System, or the SG-1000, or oh jeez, you know what I mean. I'm drawing a blank on some of these right now, but or like the Wonder Swan, or oh god, I just drew a blank. There's a whole bunch of them out there, just like systems that I never really had when I was growing up, or ones that I had really ever played anything off of. I'd go to Emu Paradise, and I'd be able to just download the entire collection with just a couple of clicks. I mean, and it was just that easy. And so trying to find ways to get things like that is going to be so much harder. I mean, there's going to be people that are still making those available. I guarantee it. I mean, that's like people that are shutting down, sites like the Pirate Bay or Kick-Ass Torrents, or even things like YTS, which is the guy that does all the movie torrents, which is I got a shitload of them from that guy over the years. I mean, they get their website shut down all the time, but they always find a new way to pop up. So even though they're shutting down ROM warehouses and stuff like this, there's going to be a way for somebody to get those back up and running. There's just no way to to avoid it. So whenever there's a will, there's a way. I'm gonna always try to find ways to get my hands on ROMs for games that I'm just not gonna be able to obtain or afford. So, but I am still trying to increase my physical collection of games. It's gonna get pretty wild at some point. I just know it. I just know there will be a day where I'm gonna end up having, you know, my man cave being so overwhelming that, you know, Michaela's gonna end up killing me in my sleep over it. I just know it. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Okay, we only got 14 laps left. I'm doing pretty good at this point. I'm thinking here, within the next couple of laps, I am probably going to end this episode, and then we'll finish up the rest of the endurance race in the final episode of this filming session, because God knows I'm getting a little bit tired. It's been a long week. Harrison has made life a little bit tough. He's going through another growth spurt, which I guess around the 6-7 month area you tend to go, you know, you kind of hit another one where your sleeping patterns change just a little bit, and you know, you start growing again and all this stuff. That kid's getting crazy. I mean, he's you know, you guys saw him earlier. I mean, the kid he's getting huge so fast. And I don't mean that in the sense of him being fat. He's getting long. But these last like 4 days, I think total I've gotten about 10 hours of sleep. It's been it has not been easy living, but I'm hanging in there. Okay, here we go. Let's move in here. Let's get ourselves another set of tires. Can't believe we were already getting another set of them. Man, that is hitting the spot right there. Oh, here he comes too. Okay. Let's get one more lap out of the way, and then we will call it good here. I wish I could see a breakdown of like all of my laps, because I'm kind of curious to see. I see my best is 143, but I kind of want to know like what lap did I do that on. That'd be kind of a cool little piece of info to know. My guess is that it probably came on a lap like right after I got a new set of tires. It was probably like the lap after I got them installed, once my tires warmed up a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. I also think I'm absolutely going to use this car in like the what is it, the Dream Car Cup, or you know, some of the last like end game tournaments. I think I very well may use this car because it is so wildly fast and the acceleration is so good. I mean, just look how quickly it even if I'm kind of starting to lose traction a little bit, it picks up speed so quick. And the handling is actually really good. Like I'm not giving this car enough credit for how well it handles, considering the fact that it has almost 1,200 horsepower. It actually handles really well. I'm not having to reef on this thing really at all. And it's not like spinning out too much. It really handles itself nicely. The real test will be, you know, when I have to do courses like Special Stage Route 11, or things like Laguna Seca, or like Côte d'Azur, where it's got some like crazy ass hairpin bullshit. So we'll see what happens, but we're gonna stop right here, you guys, and when we come back on the last installment of this little filming session for this endurance race, we'll finish up the race, we'll get our prize, we'll get all of the money, and then I'm gonna call it good for the evening, because I think my brain can only take so much. So with that said, my friends, you guys take it easy. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys, and I'll check you next time. Bye, everyone.